course, it's pretty cold all year round up here in the mountains, but this year winter came particularly early. It worked. I got one. It'll take a long time for the icicle to melt. After all, the pot isn't all that warm. I should speed up the melting process. It shouldn't take long to melt the icicle. The stove is still warm. The icicle is gone. All that's left is crystal clear water. Now I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. It's too bad that slime had to be so evil. And down we go. Excuse me, Colonel Grandad?
Yes, report back.
About my equipment.
Yes, have you got everything?
I don't know. What exactly should I take?
Let me think. You need a helmet. You can fight without legs, but you can't fight without a head.
Without legs?
And you need a map of the area. Reconnaissance is everything. We are living in the information age.
So I need a map and a helmet. Got it.
And then, of course, you need a parachute. Better to be safe than sorry.
Just why I mean a parachute?
Just a precaution.
This ring, do you really think it could end the war?
I don't know if there's anything that can end this war.
The gremlin said it would change all our fates. Maybe it's a powerful magic ring.
We are simply soldiers, my boy. We fight when we are told to. Don't worry yourself about anything else.
Sounds sensible. Do you know the Archmage? Have you ever met him?
I've never met him. After all, he's a great leader, and I'm just a simple, highly decorated gnome colonel. But I've heard lots about him. He's a powerful mage, of course. He's an advisor to the king, and he's our most powerful alchemist and chief of the Secret Service. He lives in a tower down by the sea in Seastone. Of course, being the important man he is, he's always away on business.
I hope he's there. I always wanted to meet a real mage.
If he's not there, you'll have to wait for him or go and look for him. You must only give the ring to the Archmage in person, you hear me? No one else. Give me your word of honor. If the ring really is important, then it shouldn't be our fault if it lands in the wrong hands.
Okay. I swear I'll give it to the Archmage personally. Well, we can't expect any help from the Master Brewer. He doesn't believe the ring is important.
I didn't expect much more from that cowardly drunkard.
Grandad, he's my boss.
Some boss sits in his fortress drinking beer from dawn till dusk while his comrades are fighting on the front line.
I think he misses them.
Well, perhaps, but one thing's for sure. We're on our own, soldier.
I have the pot. Helmet.
Excellent, soldier. The helmet will protect you from physical attacks. You can even sit on it and use it as a saucepan.
Ooh, how practical.
Let me see your helmet.
It's not all that great, I know, but...
What? It's a good helmet, and it's going to protect a good soldier. That is, of course, as long as the enemy doesn't attack with dragons, or has wizards in its ranks, or magical swords, and doesn't go for your head.
Maybe I should look for some armour with magic.
Poppycock! That helmet will do.
I have a parachute.
Fantastic! Parachutes are hard to come by and are difficult to make yourself. After all, you'd only want to entrust your life in a quality product, not something makeshift you've patched together yourself.
Trust my life? But, of course. I mean, of course not. I'm supposed to travel to a human town in your machine, right?
Absolutely, it's the quickest way.
And the safest?
Absolutely, it's the quickest way.
I'll go look for the rest of my gear.
You do that. I've got enough to do here. But bear in mind, the Dark Lord knows all of your thoughts.
Right. I'll let him get on with his work while I do my part of the job. I'll just knot the loose ends around the frame. Done. Wouldn't want to play tennis. Gotcha. I'd rather not take Nemo apart until I know what I'm looking for. It's worth a try. Yikes!
What's happening?
Oh, nothing much. I just scared off a pixie.
What, here? At this time of year? The beasties are getting more and more cheeky.
Phew. That was close. I can't get to the map as long as he's sleeping there. I'll have to distract him somehow. Master Brewer, sir. Mr. Master Brewer, sir, could I maybe borrow that map over there?
What, that? Oh, lad, that map shows the finest taverns in the land. And this one's on it, too.
Oh, I'd be really, really careful with it.
No. To be quite honest, there hasn't been a lot going on here since war broke out. And I've got no chance of being featured again. That's why the map is staying where it is.
I talked to my granddad. He thinks the ring is important too. He wants to help me get to the human town.
Yeah? Well, of course he wants to do that. Listen to me, laddie. Nothing against your grandpa. But don't you think he's a few gills short of a pint?
My granddad is a great soldier and inventor.
Of course he is. Of course he is. But, how should I put it? He's maybe had one crash landing too many. His flying machines were mostly a bit, temperamental. And let's face it, he wasn't actually the greatest of pilots. Honestly, son, if your grandpa reckons there's something in that story, then for me, that's just one more reason to keep out of it.
Grandad and I will show everyone. I don't want to trouble you any further. Good night.
And yourself. Have a good one.
No, I can't. Well, maybe I can. I'm going to burn in hell for this. Guaranteed. I wonder if that would work. At least it would distract the Master Brewer a bit.
Oh!
Ah! Hello? Stop! That wasn't supposed to happen. I have a feeling that wasn't such a brilliant idea. Oh, I like the Master Brewer.
That were amazing. The eternal struggle of dwarf against machine. And I won!
Are you okay?
Of course! And why not? You think a stupid tin bucket's going to beat a proper dwarf? No chance. That was good. Something's happening at last. Cause for celebration. I think we should drink to that.
I think he's drunk with victory, so he shouldn't see anything. I have it. The map of the area. And that's the last of my gear. I must get back to Grandad. Fast. And down we go. Excuse me, Colonel Grandad?
Yes, report back.
I got a map.
Excellent. My commanding officer always said good maps are half the battle. Of course, you won't be needing it if everything goes well.
If what goes well?
But if not, it's always good to have a map with you, what?
So, that's the last of my gear.
Excellent. We could get going if only my damn machine would work. But you can't find a thing in this house. No nitroglycerin, no dragonhide armor, no concentrated pillars of salt, no full mithril jacket bullets. Nothing.
What do you need all that for?
For what? It's a war!
But we just want to deliver the ring to the Archmage. Don't you think a sled...
What? I need a nitroglycerin substitute. Something highly explosive. The only thing that comes to mind is good old dwarven ale.
Dwarven ale?
Devilish stuff. We reduced complete countries to ash and rubble with it. We loved the smell of dwarven ale in the morning.
Okay, I'll get you some dwarven ale. Anything else?
Yes, I need a cog. A 5/8-inch screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right-hand thread and lock ring locking. It's not a standard size, and I can't find one anywhere.
A 5/8-inch screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right-hand thread and locking lock ring. Sounds familiar.
Come back when you've got the stuff. I'll sort out the rest. Take good care of the ring. It's your precious.
Right. Well, that won't work. It wiggles too much. It's stuck. Poor thing. Shouldn't be a problem with the right tool. There you are. A 5/8" screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right hand thread and lock ring locking. Maybe that cog wasn't all that important. Fly. Oh, maybe it was important. Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
When the robot started in on you, I never thought you'd beat it.
It was an epic scrap, lad, an epic scrap. Dwarf against machine, nature against technology, mind over matter.
Mind? How did you destroy it?
I hit him as hard as I could with heavy objects until sparks started leaping out of him.
Oh, a shrewd tactic.
Too right, but he did land a couple on me. Look what he did to my beard.
Oh, yes.
I was so tanked up with ale and adrenaline I didn't even notice.
Mr. Master Brewer, assuming I were to need some dwarven ale...
Dwarven ale? It's not allowed, unfortunately.
Why not?
Have you heard about the explosion on Mount Winterpeak?
The volcanic eruption?
Volcanic eruption. Deep under that mountain was the finest ale brewery in the whole dwarven world. My dad took me there when I was nothing but 2 beer crates tall. Can you imagine how aled up we were?
Kind of. What happened?
Ah, well, some so-and-so cocked up, and boom! And that was that! All over for dwarven ale brewing. After the accident, it was banned as a substance of enjoyment. The sharp taste, the warmth in the throat, gone forever. Now it's only used in warfare and in the alchemy industry.
But you do know how to brew dwarven ale, don't you?
Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle? Of course I know. I'm the master brewer. It's not difficult either. First, you get barley germinated in a malt house, then let them bloat up after leaving them dormant for a bit. Then kiln dry the green malt, keeping it turned, of course mill it, making sure that the husks don't get destroyed.
The husks? What are...
Then mash the whole lot in a mash tun, obviously using a decoction procedure. After the iodine test, we get on with purifying and separating the malt from the beer wort in a slatted filter bed.
Of course, but...
In other words, we let the draft run through the mash pot. We then put the first wort in the brewing kettle, let it simmer, and add the hops. We let the wort settle to remove the trub crust, add the yeast, and then leave to ferment. Then we run everything through the pebble filter. That's all fair enough. Then it gets more complicated.
Stop!
What? We're just getting to the exciting part.
I'm sure we were, but I just abandoned the idea of brewing some dwarven ale myself.
Well, whatever you think.
Let's assume I need a small tankard of dwarven ale really, really urgently. Could you brew it for me?
Could do, but I'm not going to. It's not allowed.
Oh, come on. Who's going to notice? When was the last time another dwarf came by to visit us?
That's a fair time back.
You see? Wouldn't you just love a nice cold dwarven ale tonight to celebrate your victory over the robot?
Oh, dwarven ale is nectar. I'd certainly enjoy a wee taste of it again. No, but it's not going to happen. I'm missing a few ingredients.
And if I get them, would you brew up 2 tankards then? One for me and one for yourself?
Aye. It's a deal. You find me the missing ingredients, and I'll brew some dwarven ale.
Okay, what do you need?
Crystal clear mountain water, hops, and some barley for malting.
But that's it? No deviled fire, salamander eyes, or dragon's breath, that sort of thing?
Nope. Water, hops, and malt. Then there's just a few secret ingredients and naturally synthesized aromatic substances and a couple of E numbers. But I've already got them here.
Okay, water, hops, and barley. I'll get them. I have a pot of crystal clear water for the dwarven ale.
Show me. Aye, that water's very good. We can use this.
Here's some barley from my mum's kitchen. Can it be used for brewing?
It's not the best, but it'll have to do.
Do you have any idea where I can get the hops?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that thieving rat took the best part of 5 sacks. I've not enough left. I've got to be careful with it.
The rat, huh? I have to go. Enjoy the celebration.
Yeah.
If the rat has stolen that many hops, it might still have something stored in there. There's something in there. Something round. Ugh, hopefully it's not a giant rat dropping. It's a single hop. This is probably all that's left of the stock of hops. Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
I've got some hops for the ale.
No, my lad, that's not enough. I need more hops. A proper handful.
But I can't find any more.
Oh, well, that's it as far as the dwarven ale's concerned. But you can plant the hops. You'll have enough next year.
I have to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll plant the hop in the soil. Let's see what happens. I really can't imagine this stuff. Wow. Good fertilizer, that. Nah. Wow! A huge hop plant with tons of cones. I've picked about 10 cones. That should be enough for the dwarven ale. Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
I've got some hops for the ale. Is this enough?
Ho, that's enough. I hope you haven't been whipping stuff out of my stock.
No. Well, only indirectly.
And that means I've got all I need to brew the lovely dwarven ale. Right, it's all go now then. Hey, laddie, just watch out that you don't get any of that in your eyes. It's dangerous stuff.
I'll be very careful. Thanks very much, sir.
Tell me, Wilbur, what do you need all that junk for? The dwarven ale and all the other stuff that you've been dragging out of here the whole evening.
Well, it's because of the ring. I need it. Grandad's helping me get the ring to the human town safe. Well, quickly.
Oh, Wilbur, it's dangerous for a young gnome like yourself out there.
I know, but I promised that gremlin, and I believe it really could be important. And I'd like to get out of here and achieve something.
Taste some adventure, eh? You know, I don't think that the ring is all that important. Not everybody's born for having adventures, my lad. But maybe you really do need to get out of here.
Really?
Aye, laddie. You still live with your parents, and you keep company with a very interesting, intelligent old dwarf. But that can't go on forever, can it now? So, if you do leave and go off on an adventure, even if it's just to Seastone, then maybe you'll come back and visit and tell me all about it then, eh?
I promise.
Don't forget us. You're going to have to excuse me now. I've got an appointment.
And down we go. Excuse me, Colonel Grandad?
Yes, report back.
Here's the dwarven ale, Grandad.
Oh, my goodness, we must be careful with this. That means we're only missing the cog. Dismissed!
Here's the cog, Grandad. I had to break my flying fish for that.
War always involves sacrifice. Your flying fish was a hero, one of our best. We will honor his memory. Now I have everything I need. It won't take long now. Prepare yourself for takeoff.
Take off? That's what you meant by take off.
Absolutely. I've aimed her at the town of the humans. Betsy, too, was, of course, designed to shoot grenades. But I'm confident that she'll get your capsule there, too.
Confident? Get me out of here. Please, Grandad.
Listen, my boy. I'm proud of you. You're doing something very brave. Sure, Wilbur. I'd like you to have these.
Your old aviator goggles. Oh, Grandad, I didn't think...
Too slow, my boy. Fire! Good luck.
it.
He still hasn't told us, Mother.
He will. Who else knows about it?
The Archmage won't know about it yet. We were able to intercept the servant, as you know. But... An elf, Mother. She tried to free McGuffin. She might know something.
She needs to be watched.
Very well.
And now, Mr. Professor, let us have a little chat.
Oh well, no problem. I am an elf, and I'm fit. What now? I'll get the book out of McGuffin's secret cellar and take it to the Archmage. No, they were all gone when I got there. They collected the cage and were off. Now it's up to us to get the book. Of course I don't have to, but, well, what else am I going to do? It appears to be very important. And even if it isn't important, those shady fellows want to have that book. It's better that we get it out of the cellar before they get their grubby mitts on it. Then don't help me. Why don't you just fly home? Just don't tell my parents anything. Ungrateful feathered fowl. The groundwater is only a few metres down in this region. Presumably the well isn't very deep. The well rope is fastened to the windlass. It doesn't look particularly strong. Would appear to be a mirror frame. There are still a few broken shards of the old mirror around the edges. The mirror's turned so it reflects the fireplace. Strange. A wooden tub, about half full of water. Oh, great. This has the professor's washing floating around in it. White shirts, grey socks, red underpants. What's that? A box with some kind of glass eye. It seems to be hanging directly in front of the gable window. I haven't got a clue what it's for. Typical bachelor. Everything in a mess. Plates, pots, cups, covered with a sticky mixture of dust and fat. Dead flies. Oh, yuck. The back of the fireplace. When McGuffin wanted to heat his food up, he just needed to put it into one of those little stoves. Looks like a very ancient sarcophagus. Oh, strange. There are hinges on it, just like a door. Shame. Just a stinky mummy. What have we here?
What are you doing, Mortimer?
What the... Did you just speak? You speak?
Me? No.
Well, yes you do, quite obviously.
What is obvious?
That you can and do speak.
But of course.
But you just said that you didn't.
Why are you being so strange, Mortimer?
I'm not Mortimer.
Where is Mortimer?
You mean McGuffin, the gremlin archaeologist who lives here, yes?
What?
Mortimer.
Yes?
You're called Mortimer?
No, of course not.
I think we're finished with this conversation.
I think you are slowly losing your marbles, Mortimer.
Presumably the sarcophagus lacks oxygen. I think these are all the things that the professor uses on his digs. A brush, a little shovel, a sieve. I'll take the sieve. The rest looks pretty useless. A large handwritten book. It looks like it's been used a lot. It's the gremlin's diary. Perhaps I'll find some hints about the cellar. Let's take a closer look. Who would have ever thought that it would fall to someone like me, an old archaeologist, to stop this madness? And I didn't find the key to it on one of my expeditions, not in dark dungeons or in fiery mountains. Oh no, I discovered the answer in an old book. He must mean the book that was hidden in the cellar, in which the information about the artifact's whereabouts is written. The notes end mid-sentence. I wonder why I haven't heard anything from Archmage Alistair yet. I sent Beetle out with a message for him yesterday morning. I hope nothing has... That was the last entry. There are others before it. What's this at the beginning of this page? Today I have been examining the books that I brought back from the Grindle Mountains. Amongst them was a book about herbs and tinctures. An old herbalist was adamant that I would find a recipe to cure my cold feet in it. What a disappointment, though. Just superstitious nonsense about frog eyes and wool socks. I was just about to burn the book when I noticed that the volume contained other things. A disturbing tale of a tragic relationship between a magician and his pet sheep Boris, as well as a travel log written by a fairy explorer. The travel log described how the explorer landed on an island in the West Seas whilst searching for undiscovered fairy tribes. He created several very beautiful sketches of the temple ruins that can be found on that island. I will use these to entertain myself and translate the runes he drew. The next entry was made 2 days later. It's only barely legible. The gremlin appears to have been very excited. It must be the entrance. The wrath of the gods caused the temple to sink into the ocean, of course. But not all, not all. Ye gods, my hands are still shaking despite the fact that Beetle made me a calming herbal tea before he left. Good old Beetle, he has obviously got no clue how significant my discovery is. I have sent him to Master Alistair, the Archmage of the Humans. He is to hand him a sealed letter. Tomorrow Master Alistair will arrive, and I can unburden myself of this terrible responsibility. I will not be able to sleep a wink. And next, there's the last entry that I read out before. There's nothing else there. Old parchment and yellowing papers, filled with texts in many different foreign languages. Adonisham Western, Quenya and Sindarin, and technical drawings in Kuzdul. A stone casket placed in a wooden box. The box looks very cheap. It could be one of those storage containers. A little wooden box. Doesn't look like an antique or anything particularly valuable. It has beautiful workmanship, though. It's locked. A strange stone head. It's been roughly hewn but has a few fine embellishments. Looks like the base for a statue. It's made out of stone and it's covered with strange characters. There's a 6-sided indentation on the base. Perhaps the mounting for a statue. There's a 6-sided... The stone chest is decorated with 2 angels and has writing on it too. I can't read it. What's likely to happen, eh? Sand. Is it me, or has it just got much warmer in here? The chest is filled to the brim with fine sand. I haven't got a clue what else might be in there. I can hardly sift my way through the sand with my hand. There is something in there. A little brass key. Let's see. There's a bit of paper in the box. The paper's densely covered with writing. Deus ex machina. The ghost in the machine is the heading. There's also a drawing of a stone figure. At its feet is a vessel containing liquid. Let's take a look. The ghost in the machine is wise to all the secrets of this house. That's what's written here. Blah blah. Pour the fuel into the bowl at the foot of the machine to awaken the ghost. Fuel? Oh, here. Grind the beans and tip the powder into boiling water, then pour the mixture into the bowl. We've already had that bit. You'll get the beans from the machine. Strange. A machine that's meant to be familiar with all the secrets of the house. Perhaps a memento from one of the Professor's expeditions. Wait, there is something else. There's a 6-sided flat stone hidden under the paper. It has something a bit like a knob on the top of it. Let's see. fits perfectly. I wonder if I... How pretty. Ooh, this must be the ominous machine which is reputed to have a ghost living in it. The vessel at its base must be for fuel. The statue has small holes in its nose, and it appears that the mouth could be opened. The vessel's a few centimetres deep and empty. There are some brown stains on the bottom. Hello, you in there? Ghost, give me beans for your draft. Oh, mighty ghost in the machine, give me the beans for your delicious, godly draft. Let's look at it this way. If you don't give me the beans, then I won't be able to prepare your stupid draft, and that won't be of any use to anyone. Why the wait? Beans all present and correct. And what was... Beans all present and correct. And what was that about the fuel again? Ah yes, here. Grind the beans and pour the powder into boiling water. Have any idea which artifact could be so powerful that it could make someone into the ruler of the world? No, that's been lost to the depths of the ocean. No, that's been thrown back into the same fire that was used to forge it. No, I haven't got a clue. It must be something that no one bargained for, something that no one has ever looked for. It'll be in the Gremlin's book. If only I had it already. Why is that scarecrow not scaring you? Yes, certainly. And how? Normally you're the first to take flight. Good luck, little one, and don't get up to any mischief. Beans all present and correct. And what was that about the fuel again? Ah yes, here. Grind the beans and pour the powder into boiling water. It works. The beans are being ground to powder. That's it. That was suspiciously easy. The rope is broken and the bucket's probably at the bottom of the well where it's of no use to anyone. An upturned flower pot made of clay. There's a stone under it. That could be a firestone. That's coming with me. Presumably the professor wanted to prevent the stone getting wet. An old watering can made out of metal. It's small even by gremlin standards. That should hold. Let's give it a whirl. It worked. This means that I have a gremlin watering can full of water. The watering can with the cold well water is hanging on the metal arm. A pile of logs. There is no way that McGuffin will get through the winter with such a small amount, not even autumn. Three should be enough. Once they get going, they'll burn for a few hours. They'll burn well. They're dry as bone. I'll give it a go. What? Let's see. The water's boiling. A watering can full of hot water. Very well. The water's turning brown. And it smells... lovely. That's the fuel for the machine sorted. And woe betide if this whole effort's in vain. Hello? You there, ghost. I have to find the secret cellar. Will you help me?
Oh no.
A clever mechanism. So this is the legendary secret cellar. The cellar continues on behind these bars. I can't see anything, but I bet that the book's in there somewhere. A small, fat figure. She's holding a mirror above her head. Looks ancient. A staff, approximately 2 meters long with a top made of bronze. Looks like something's missing there. This picture seems to indicate that a ruby belongs in there. Guess even a secret cellar is in the end just a cellar, and all cellars have gardening tools such as these gardening shears. As long as I'm not expected to do the gardening now. There are 3 carved figures by the bars. Each one of them has a different precious stone. This one here has a blue sapphire in its head. A picture on a stone slab. It depicts a man in a robe with a staff in his hand. A jewel is glinting in the headpiece of the staff. Some sort of light beam shining on it. I don't believe it. Now I've ended up doing the gardening. It it is indeed a gravestone. A little gravestone made of granite that's got Kinski inscribed on it. A little gravestone made of granite. The window's open. The last rays of sunlight can enter the house. That explains why the mirror was hanging there. It was there to reflect the light. I must find a replacement. A small old-fashioned shield. The inside is highly polished. Perfect. The shield's reflecting the light beam down into the cellar. The light beam is reflected by the little figure's mirror, but it's simply shining onto the floor. There are strange marks on the figure's pedestal. Looks like the figure may have been turned. I've got to try and turn it back to its original position. Strong iron bars without a door or lock. Behind it is a dark room. I somehow have to open the bars. No chance. There has to be a secret mechanism to open the bars.
Yoo-hoo!
I know you've never been down there, but there was a staff in the cellar, and there's a precious stone that belongs on the top of it, a ruby. Do you know where it is?
But of course, Mortimer. You asked me to hide it for you. Don't you remember?
I must have forgotten about that.
Oh, what would you do without me?
Could you please just give it to me? I just need it for a second.
What?
The jewel. And before you ask, I mean the stone that you put somewhere safe for me. And please don't tell me that you've forgotten.
How could I forget that? You said it was very important that no one found the stone.
Oh, okay. Now please can I have it back?
Why would I give a complete and utter stranger Mortimer's stone?
But I am Mortimer.
Don't be ridiculous. You're too tall, too thin, too hairy, and you have those things there.
I'm a friend of Mortimer. He's sent me to fetch something out of the cellar.
I have never seen you here before, and I never forget a face.
Please, it's urgent.
I do not know whether I can trust you. I would only give a really good friend of Mortimer's the jewel.
That's me. I saved his life. Well, maybe.
Really? If you are truly a good friend of Mortimer, then you will be able to give me the answer to the following question. What colour is his underwear?
Red. He mostly wears red underwear.
That's right. Red silk underwear. But I'm still not quite satisfied. So, what is his cat's name?
His cat died some while ago. Her gravestone's outside. Her name was Kinski.
It was a tomcat. The poor thing was always so happy playing with my bandages.
Yes, very sad, very sad. But hopefully this proves that I am a good friend of old Mortimer, does it not?
You have only answered one of my questions.
2? You asked me about his underwear.
But why would his underwear be of any interest to me?
Oh, come on, don't change the subject. Are you going to give me that jewel now?
No, not yet. I have one last question. What did Count Grunschfeld or Pieperbock say to his adjutant Henninger shortly before the Battle of Budleberg?
Huh?
Wrong.
No, I just don't understand what you're talking about.
I am a trifle unsure about this, too. It is a bit like a coded question.
And do you know the answer?
Of course. Mortimer told me.
And you haven't forgotten it?
No. So, what is the answer?
234, of course.
Oh? What?
234. I know all about that. Mortimer told me many times.
234 what?
How can anyone who is a good friend of Mortimer not know that?
But how? What?
234. Mortimer never told you that?
Well, yes. 234?
So it turns out that you aren't such a good friend after all, then, if you don't even know anything about the 234.
Oh. Oh, that! You mean that 234?
Yes, exactly.
With that thingy?
Precisely. I see that you are a good friend of old Mortimer's after all.
Of course.
Splendid! Now that you've proven that, can you give me the jewel?
At last. Many thanks.
You're welcome. This must be the secret book. Oh, it's been written by hand and there are several pictures. There are a few words written in orange ink. That doesn't exist, does it? The artifact of divine fate. This is serious. I should get this book to the Archmage as quick as I can. As long as I don't bump into the sorcerer or his troll, I should manage to make Seastone by midday tomorrow. Shouldn't be a problem. Uh-oh.